Hey everyone, my name is Graham Ayler-Sheldon. Welcome to CineD.com. I'm here in Irwindale, California, just a little bit east of Los Angeles to meet the new Tilta Hydra Mini Arm. Let's check it out. All right, we're here at the Irwindale Speedway to talk to Nick about the Hydra Arm Mini from Tilta. All right, Nick, top level stuff first. Cost, when is it shipping? Just give me the high level to start.
Yeah. So this is a $10,000 camera crane arm specifically designed for lighter weight gimbals such as the RS3. As you can see in the background, we have it set on the Ronin 4D at the moment. So anything under 15 pounds, this thing is going to be able to support. Like I said, the main kind of focus of it is we're trying to make an accessible camera crane car for lighter weight gimbals. We're hoping to start shipping at the end of this year. That being said, we're not exactly sure on how many units we'll be able to ship, but they should start shipping within the next month or two, and then probably become more readily available towards early next year.
All right, so talking about vehicle though, Does this work on any vehicle?
So it is designed to work on almost any vehicle. Your roof will need to be able to support about 160 pounds, and you'll be restricted by the limitation of actually fitting the cases. But in terms of most modern vehicles, you could put this on a smart car if you really wanted to.
And I want to be clear too, this is not a permanent installation, right?
That is correct. So this is designed to be built up, to be shot with, and then to be packed back down into cases small enough to travel with on a commercial airline.
Well, let's talk about setup time. How many people, how much time?
So in general, you're going to need at least 2 people depending on the vehicle. If you're using a larger vehicle, you may need a third person, but for most kind of mid-size SUVs or sedans, 2 people is more than enough. If you're experienced and you know what you're doing, you can definitely set this up in under an hour, but for most people, for their first time or their first couple times, we're going to say it's going to be about an hour, maybe hour and a half max.
Yeah, I mean, it's designed to have a gimbal on the other end. I know you're using a DJI Ronin 4D today. I mean, does the type of gimbal matter necessarily? Could you just use the shock mount, just put a camera on there? What do you recommend?
So you could. It definitely, it has some stabilization, but it does not have enough to kind of fully support a camera on its own, meaning it is designed for gimbals. It is kind of built to work with, other stabilizers. We make a lot of products specifically for DJI's gimbals, so that is going to be kind of what it's catered more towards, but there's nothing to stop you from putting like a Crane 3S or even a really stripped down Movi is probably the lightest weight system. That 15-pound weight limit is going to include the weight of the gimbal, meaning something like RS3 with a roughly 10-pound limit is a pretty nice, middle ground between gimbal weight, any extra batteries you're going to be mounting, and also the camera and lens.
So when I think about a camera crane, I think $80,000. Why is yours $10,000? Make me feel good about this.
This is $10,000 because, for one, it does not have all the bells and whistles that you would, find in some of the higher end systems. It does not require a specific car to be mounted and rigged. Really, they kind of took the basic concept of what a camera car crane is, and they tried to strip it down to take advantage of the different elements that people already have, such as remote heads as gimbals, such as their wireless control options that we even make. When you kind of account in all the expenses for a full-sized arm, you're looking at monitors, you're looking at the interior mounting hardware. We do include interior mounting hardware, but it is a bit more stripped down and lighter weight, more again designed for these lighter weight gimbals. I think the main idea and how we were able to keep the price point so low is that because we designed this with a very specific weight limit in mind, we were able to kind of keep the entire system at a more affordable price point, as opposed to some larger systems that can support much more weight. But then on the other hand, even if you are using a lighter system, they still cost the same amount depending on, it doesn't matter what gimbal you're using, a large scale crane is still going to cost the same amount. So yeah, I guess the focus on the lightweight, kind of nature of it is how we were able to keep the price so affordable.
So one of the things I'm interested in is obviously price, setup time. installation, but beyond all that, it's safety. Is this thing safe? Is it going to be okay to mount on a car? What types of vehicles does it work with? These are all considerations when we talk about putting a camera and a lot of metal on a moving vehicle. So I want to talk just about kind of safety for a moment, because I hear a $10,000 price tag. It's like, great, everyone can have a camera crane right now. Should everyone have a camera crane? Is everyone qualified to have a camera crane? What do local regions have? I mean, the planet's a big place, so let's not go region by region and talk about the safety aspects. But what do you recommend for first-time users of a camera crane? Should you always shut down the street? Let's talk safety, because that's what everyone's going to be curious about.
Yeah. So it's at least in the U.S., it's very similar to how our kind of drone laws work in terms of, to operate a drone, you do need a commercial pilot's license. You don't need a specific license to operate something like this. However, you do need a private road closure. That might vary county by county and exactly where you are, but in terms of the legitimate way to operate this would be, through full, cooperation with your city, any kind of local law enforcement you'd be required to have on set, or if you're on a private closed track such as this Irwindale Speedway that we're at here today.
Who do you think is the perfect user for a device like this?
I think this is perfect for someone who's interested in learning more about car camera crane operating. Maybe someone who is already interested in cars and is already familiar with the requirements of filming, other cars, and isn't someone who is willing to, put down the full investment into getting a full-size rig. This is definitely a great way to kind of test the waters to see if it's something, that you are kind of really passionate about or something that's a good fit for you. And I think it's also a very inexpensive way for a lot of kind of like indie filmmakers and indie, like movies, TV shows, whatever, music videos, to kind of have access to a type of camera movement that really hasn't been possible for this price point. Meaning if you are trying to hire, someone to bring this arm, it's going to be a lot cheaper than if you're trying to hire, a team to bring a full-size rig.
So I just want to be a little more specific about the ecosystem required to do something like this. So you have the Hydra Arm Mini, you have a certain number of monitors. Let me know if I miss anything. You need a certain number of monitors in the car. You need wireless communication. Obviously, you guys have headsets. You could do walkies. You need to be obviously careful about the safety elements we just talked about. You need some way to control the gimbal, controller, master wheels sort of situation. And then you need to cable all that within the car. Am I sort of missing anything?
No, that's almost all of it. The big thing to keep in mind is, like I said, because this is a $10,000 system, it isn't going to come with that kind of wireless control built in. So even something for video, you will need wireless transmitters. You will need a power source. This does run off of just normal house power, so we have a pretty heavy duty 1,000 watt-hour block battery in the trunk that it's running off of. But in terms of mounting, in terms of, it doesn't come with monitors, but places to mount monitors, places to, kind of put everything. It comes with the base, and then you would just fill that base in with at least 2 monitors. You would need one for the crane operator, one for the gimbal operator. That would need to be 2 separate people in most cases. The controller that's included with the system. You are able to control an RS3 or, something like the 4D, but it isn't recommended to do both at the same time, just because that generally is 2 separate, jobs.
Okay, so we're going to take a little walk around here of the Hydra Arm from Tilta. So this is a BMW sedan. You can see the straps here, but there's also a suction cup element. So the strap runs all the way along the ceiling through the other window on the other side, and it's a series of 2 straps for extra stability. And then those 2 motors are up here on top handling the pan and tilt. So looking in here for a second, one of the things that's included in the kit is a controller that's controlling these 2 motors up top. There's a Ronin 4D at the end, which is a camera for this rig that's not a Tilta product, but that's what we're using here today for this demonstration. So obviously vehicle dependent, you get about a 15-foot height with this setup as it is right now. The arm itself isn't adjustable. It's 10-ish feet. That is what it is. It stays there. Let's go around to the front and we'll just look at the camera for a second. All right, so we got the DJI Ronin 4D here. You can see there's a shock mount element that Tilta has added. You see the arm itself. I mean, this is all metal. This isn't going anywhere. You can see the straps coming out the other side, the suction cup, giving you, 4 suction cups on top, just helping create that safe base. And then, I mean, yeah, you could see how this would work for most vehicles, but there are definitely some vehicles that this would not work for. So obviously keep that in mind. There you have it. There's the walk around of the Tilta Hydra Arm Mini. Nick, thank you so much. I mean, you kind of compared this to the early days of drones being available for sort of the mass market. I think that's a smart way to think about it. Just because it is $10,000 doesn't mean you shouldn't do your due diligence in making sure you're operating a device like this safely. So Nick, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. And I just want to say there'll be more information available later this year. We are currently doing like a private pre-sale at the moment, meaning we have a kind of program that we're designing for people who are interested in this, maybe already do camera crane operating and want to not only work with us specifically, but help, educate other people who are interested in making sure that these units are kind of spread out throughout the world so that they're as available to rent and learn from as possible. So you can check that out right through our website, tilta.com/Hydra Arm Mini. You can find out all the other information, including once we have more kind of confirmed shipping estimates.
Cool. Well, there you have it. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
There you have it. That's our first look at the Tilta Hydra Arm Mini. Two takeaways for me from this. The first one being, of course, safety. Is this safe to use? Do you need special permits? Do you need special licensing in your region? Do you need special licenses for your operators? Do you need to shut down the street before you can use a device like this? These are all considerations you have to think about before filming with an arm like this on a moving vehicle. Second takeaway, this is $10,000. That is an incredible price tag for a device like this. Obviously that doesn't include the camera, but this is the first time that filmmakers have had access to a device like this for only $10,000. So Tilta's done a lot here to democratize this technology for the industry. That has to be good news. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Graham Sheldon. If you liked this content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more.